What's good, fam? I'm back with another video, and I really don't be posting, but I'm finna start posting a lot, y'all. DJ is due in 2 weeks. How many weeks? 2 weeks. I'm so ready, y'all. I just don't understand. Right now, I am 38 weeks, and I do go to my doctor's appointment next week, and they will be checking my cervix to see if I'm dilated. My doctor told me this week that I am dilated 1 centimeter still. 1 centimeter still. Last time I went, I was 50%. Sorry, I got a message. But last time I went, I was 50% effaced. Now I'm 60%, so 10% difference, I guess. And she was just like, I need to start working out, doing hip movements, and just basically trying to get him to drop lower. So yes, I am outside. So if you see me looking around, I am like being aware of what's around me, because I do not like nature, like as in bugs, insects, all that. But yeah, I'm really gonna be doing story time. Oh yeah, I also forgot to tell y'all, my doctor told me if I don't go into labor at 39 weeks, that at 40 weeks on my due date, that she will, at 40 weeks when I have my doctor's appointment, they will be doing a membrane sweep. I never had a child before. This is my first baby, so I got in a Facebook group page called Jacksonville Mommies and Babies, and I asked the females on there, have anybody ever had their membranes swept? And some females said they have, and one female said it didn't work. Another female said she started having contractions 3 hours after, and she went into labor at midnight. So I'm hoping, like, once I get my membrane swept, it works. I hope and pray that it works. So yes, this story I'm going to tell y'all about is how I told my family that I was pregnant. Y'all, it's not going to be a long story, because I'm telling you right now, I'm not ruining anything, because it's not like such a surprise. I'll do more than one story time, trust and believe. But my family really didn't react the way I thought they was gonna react. Like, I thought I was gonna get in so much trouble because I was only 17. Well, like I am now, I'm 17, but I was like 16 when I got pregnant, and my birthday was like a couple of days, not even a week or two after. And I found out when I was 2 months pregnant. It's a possibility. No, it ain't even a possibility. But yeah, I found out when I was pregnant at 2 months. So yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. My boyfriend, he's at work. Baby daddy is at work. No, I'm just playing. Bay is at work, and he works in landscaping now, so he probably wouldn't be around us. I think I said this on one of my other videos, but I'm telling you again, and he just continue to text me and send me pictures. So I'm just like, okay, daddy. Okay, so yeah, what made me get a pregnancy test? I remember that I was working at Taco Bell at the time, and I couldn't, like, me and my baby daddy, well, boyfriend, husband, whatever you want to call him, we wasn't together at the time. Like, we was going through the worst right at that point. He had cheated on me. I ended up cheating on, well, it wasn't cheating because we wasn't together, but we had our problems basically after he cheated on me, and I wasn't like interested with him anymore. And it was like, I think it was a week or two later, I just wasn't able to sleep on my stomach. I'm just like, what's going on? I don't get it. It'll hurt so bad, or I'll get so nauseous. I kept getting lightheaded. I wasn't eating a lot. I remember I did not have an appetite. Like when I was working, I did for some reason, because I'll go all day without eating because I ain't have an appetite. Then all of a sudden I'll eat and then it'll come right back up. So I was just like, okay, just to be safe, I just want to get a pregnancy test. So I was going to my cousin's house. Like I told y'all, before I got pregnant, yes, I did smoke. So me and my cousin, they called me up. They wanted me to come over after my cousin got out of school, and we was planning on smoking or whatever. And that's when I remember, let me see, I rode the bus to I rode the bus to Dollar Tree. And then once I got off the bus at Dollar Tree, I ended up going, where did I go? I walked to Taco Bell because I seen like this little mobile. It said pregnancy on the side with a question mark. So I was just like, hey, why don't I just go and get a pregnancy test there? So I went or whatever. They made me sign the papers. I got a pregnancy test. And it showed up one line, the test line, and then you got the other line that tells you if you're pregnant or not. So it showed up one line at first, and then a faint line showed up. The lady was like, well, it's so faint, we really can't determine if you're pregnant or not. I was like, at this point, once that second line showed up, I was like, I already know I'm pregnant. This bitch ain't finna tell me I'm not fucking pregnant, bitch. How do you know? This is what I did. I told my well, let me see, who did I call first? I called my sister first, I believe, and I told her, I was like, no, I'm sorry, I called my baby daddy first, and I was crying, and because I had took a picture of the pregnancy test on the mobile bus. I had took a picture of it, and I sent it to him, but he had my number blocked, so he didn't see the message, but he seen when I called him off a private number. So I was crying or whatever on the phone. I was like, I'm pregnant, da 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 da. This was before, let me see. Yeah, this was before my birthday. No, after. This was in November, actually after my birthday. So I was 17 already, and I was just like, I was basically like, I don't know what to do. And I guess he still wanted me, so he was just basically like, oh, well, if we're not getting back together, you gotta have an abortion. And I'm just like, bitch, what? Abort what? No, that's not me. So basically, after he said about the abortion thing, I was just like, this nigga really got me fucked up, because I done had so many miscarriages. We done got so much history with children, and you just really telling me, oh, if you're pregnant, you gotta have an abortion. Like, no, I want my baby. So we eventually got over our BS and talked it out or whatever, and he was still like, I guess he just wanted me back. That's my first love, so I'm his first love. So it's like, I understand where he's coming from. He fucked up, and he just want to fix where he fucked up, knowing that he got me pregnant. So at the time when we was having sex, we was not using protection, and I can be honest, he wasn't pulling out. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm about to be 18 now, so it's nothing to hide from my family. He was not pulling out at all. Any of the times that we had sex, like, he pulled out a couple of times, but any other time he wasn't. So after I got off the phone with him, I was just sitting at the table crying. I remember one of the employees at Taco Bell came up to me and was like, our manager said the manager said if you're not finna be buying any food, then you have to leave. So I walked, and I left there, and I walked all the way down to where did I walk? It was like a mile down to the park where I used to stay with my aunt, in the neighborhood where I used to stay with my aunt. And I walked there, and I was just waiting until my cousin got out of school, and he kept calling me and shit. So I was on the phone with him until my phone went dead, and then I was really just waiting for my peoples to pick me up. I had to go to Racetrack and charge my phone because Racetrack was across the street from oh my god, Racetrack was across the street from the park. So when my cousin picked me up, I was like, Alicia, I got something to tell you. Alicia's my best friend slash my mom's first cousin, but I call her my first cousin. But I was like, yeah, girl, I got something to tell you. And she was like, what? I was like, I'm pregnant. And my cousin Chris was in the car too, so I was like, I'm pregnant. And it was like, for real? I was like, yeah. And I was like, but y'all don't tell nobody. And then Alicia was like, well, you already know I'm not gonna tell nobody that. So I'm just like, okay, I got this out over here. So I let a couple of weeks pass. I got paid on December 5th. And I remember when I got paid, I walked to the Dollar Tree because I lived like on a beach, so it was like a bunch of stores all right there. So when I got paid, I walked to Dollar Tree and I bought 2 pregnancy tests and a bunch of snacks and shit. And when I got home, I took the pregnancy test and both of them came out positive. I will insert the picture of the pregnancy test I took in this video. But yeah, both of them came out positive. I sent the picture to my baby daddy and I sent the picture to my sister. And I was like, I'm pregnant. And my sister was like, she was happy for some reason. And I was like, well, I don't know if the test is being honest, but like, I forgot to tell y'all, I did realize the first time I got my check, I couldn't cash it because, not the first time, but when I had got my check, I could not cash it because the pregnancy place had kept my ID. And I did not know that I left my ID there, and they didn't, I'm sorry, oh my gosh, I didn't know I left my ID there, and they didn't tell me. So that's when I called them or whatever. They was like, well, you got another appointment to get another pregnancy test done. I was like, well, I already took 2 home pregnancy tests, and it was a positive. So can I get an ultrasound? I didn't even take no pregnancy test at the time. And I took it like a couple of days after because I was looking for my ID. When I did get a chance to cash it, I had to go to Publix. I had to look all the way in my Google Photos just to get a picture of my ID. So after all that happened, I ended up getting my check or whatever, the money for my check. And then that's when all that really happened. Like when my cousin came to pick me up after I cashed my check, I was just like, cousin, I got something to tell you. And he was like, what? And he was like, bro, don't tell me you're pregnant. I was just like, I ain't say nothing. And he was like, you are? I was like, yeah. And he was like, by who? Not that fuck nigga. And in the past, me and my boyfriend, we had like incidents where he was abusive at a point in time because we were getting a lot of fights. Like petty shit, us talking to other people type shit. So it was like we was young and childish at the time, so it was just like so much going on. So after that, I told him, he was mad. Like he punched the steering wheel and right here on his knuckle he was bleeding, and I was just like, I'm sorry. He was just like really, really mad. So after that, I had went to Publix to get some food. Tell me why I ate 2 boxes of Publix chicken all by myself. Like my cousin only got a couple of pieces. And after that, it was just like awkward because I ain't gonna lie, I was still smoking at the beginning. I was just like, okay, I was high or whatever, and I wasn't thinking. I totally forgot that I had told him that I was pregnant, and he started to talk about it, and he was like, you gotta tell your dad and unc. I lived with my brother at the time, and I didn't want to tell him. So I wanted to wait till I got the ultrasound to tell them and everything. I don't remember telling my dad that I was pregnant, period. Honestly, I really don't. I think my cousin James told him, and he ended up texting me, cussing me out, and we wasn't on talking terms for a long time. Me and my cousin, we just recently got back on talking terms. But anyways, it's so hot out here. I should have did this video in the house, but it's not good lighting in the house. But yeah, so after that, when I did have the appointment to go get another pregnancy test done and an ultrasound, I got an ultrasound done. I will insert the first ultrasound I got done of DJ in this video. After that, I was getting on the bus to go back home, and I called my sister. I was just like, I called her again to confirm everything. I was like, I'm really pregnant, that. And she was like so excited for some reason. She was like, well, you got to tell the family, that. I'm just like, no. I was like, I don't want it though. She was like, our family don't support abortions, so you have no choice but to keep it. I'm just like, okay. So she was just like, did you tell Dede yet? I was like, yeah. And I ain't really tell my family what he said about it. I was just like, he was kind of happy about it, I guess, which he was. He just wasn't showing it, tough love type shit, because we wasn't together. So eventually I end up, like, I told I think it was a couple of weeks later, going into December, I told my uncle that I was pregnant and all. He was mad. He was like, he's not mad, he's just disappointed because why would I go and get pregnant by someone that was putting their hands on me? And I was like, that's understandable. He's the reason why I got kicked out of my sister's house and had to go live with my uncle, because my auntie, I ain't run away. I just left my auntie house. She was the one that had custody of me after my mom died and before my mom died. I just left her house, and after that, I went to live with my sister. And on me and his anniversary, we got into an argument or whatever, and it was like a couple of days after, September 11th. I remember that. That's when he was just like, okay, it was around the hurricane time, and he was just like, oh, well, if your sister boyfriend people is at your house and there's niggas over there, you better hope that. And I really don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember the next day he was trying to, like, that night he said he was gonna call me, and he never did. And then the next day, well, I think I did have a missed call from him that night, but I was asleep. And then the next day in the morning, he called me. I was like, who is this? Like, on some petty shit. And he was just mad or whatever. So he was like, oh, I want to fight you, that. Bring who you want, that. He was like, I'm coming to get my shit. Come out your sister's house, that. So when he got there, I was like, I had called my cousin. I was like, I ain't called the cousin that I got into it with, but I called a different cousin that I stayed in apartments with. I was just like, well, he said he was gonna put his hands on me, that. I had called the police and all, because I was just fed up. Like, I was pissed off. He broke up with me in front of his little brother-in-law. I mean, not in-law, step-brother. And he was like, bitches over, loud as fuck. And I felt embarrassed as fuck. So I'm just like, I'm not putting up with this bullshit. You want to sit here and assume? I'm gonna let you. And yeah, end of the day, I just lost my mom a couple of months ago, and I'm not finna stress over no BS. And I think it was like, not a couple of months ago, a year ago, I said. And that's what really set it off. And when I guess after all that happened, me and him was still talking. Like, throughout everything, we was still talking. And after I told my uncle that I was pregnant, I was like, well, my auntie told me that she think I should just pack my stuff and move in with my sister because she don't think I should bring a baby inside of your house. and he was like, he really didn't agree with her, but his girlfriend had just like left, and like basically we wasn't going broke because he had a good job, but he didn't have enough money to take care of me and the baby. And I was working, but I eventually quit my job. And like after all of that, I ended up going back to my sister's house, and me and my baby daddy, we were seeing each other. And then I think it was like on Christmas, he had went through my phone and seen that like months before I was talking to other niggas and stuff when we wasn't together. And I guess that made him mad because he had just got me something for Christmas. Like, he didn't get me anything, but he had gave me money or whatever to get my nails and toes done for Christmas. And when he seen all that, that set him off. And I was just like, well, you can't really talk because you got bitches, pussy pictures in your phone and shit. So it was like so much going on at that time. And after that, I think it was like a week after that, I had a doctor's appointment, so I went to my sister's house. No, I was already at my sister's house, and we went to my doctor's appointment or whatever. My auntie came over the day after. No, not the day after, the same day, and my sister was like, tell her. And I was like, no, I don't want to. She was like, tell her. She's like, no. I was like, no. And then she just came out with it. She was like, she's pregnant. And then my auntie was like, congratulations, I'm happy for you. Now you can just figure out, she was like, no, now you can just understand everything that I've been trying to tell you about trying to be grown, that. So I was just like, well, this didn't go how I expected it to go. I expected everybody to be mad at me, yelling and cussing like my dad was. And they was only mad because, well, they was only disappointed because who I was pregnant by. Now that me and him got back together, it was just like, they were like, why you went back to him? That is who I love. I love him. So I went back to him. And since then, it's just been A1. So, yeah. I'm happy that anybody that watched this, that y'all actually sit down and watch my video. I would appreciate that. I'm happy that y'all do understand. It's not easy. Like, it's really not. Me and him done been through so much. So if you're in love, I'm not telling you to sit here and put up with a nigga beating on you or anything like that. But if you really love someone, you can work things out. If a nigga is hardcore beating on you, beating you bloody, leave his ass. I ain't gonna tell you, oh, don't leave him. Bitch, leave his ass. And I'm not calling you a bitch, that's just how I talk. So when I do more videos, y'all will know how I talk. But for now, it's so hot out here, and I'm not doing another story time right now. I'll probably do one later and post it, but I'm finna go in the house and edit this so y'all can see it. Gang, DK gang, KD gang, however you want to say it. We can go both ways, because I know De'Ara and Ken got DK gang, so I'll say DK squad, KD gang. Y'all let me know in the comments to what y'all want to be called. But yeah, stay tuned. Ooh, ouch. I just hit my hand on here trying to act cute. But stay tuned. I got another video coming out. So, yeah. And I'm going to just give y'all a little baby bump review. Ooh.